We're live.
Hello, Jim.
How is
Good to see you.
spring treating you there, Stu?
Ooh, it's getting nice. I have to say. I think we're done with winter.
It's
I think we're
that
done.
famous last words.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be 90s here today. That'll be toasty.
Yeah, I was out on the beach yesterday. Got a little bit of too much sun, but check out that picture. I sent you that picture. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
got it.
if it'll focus or not. God, I hate that when it won't focus. And
Yeah, it's
now it'll focus.
pretty. It's pretty.
Anyway, that was the moon and the sun coming. The moon, I guess, the moon going down and the sun coming up at the same time. I don't know. It was pretty cool. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I should slow down
And enjoy it.
and enjoy life and enjoy what I'm seeing. And then I started screaming at the dogs and it was ugly. So today, Stu, we're talking about a few things. We're being really organized on our topics. And let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When you've written books in the past, or when you have decided what you're going to write about, how did you decide what you were going to write about? What did you decide? How did you decide what book topics you were going to do?
That's a good question. Um, well, for a few of them, you bullied me into a couple.
Oh my God.
um, but most of them, they were, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I feel like I'm a writer, right?
Uh-huh.
And I get weird inspiration and ideas out of nowhere,
Yeah.
then they become books.
Okay.
And I don't have a way to explain
Okay.
it.
So basically, and I think it might be a then versus now type thing. An idea just kind of pops up
Yes.
and you're like, hey, this would be a cool idea for a book. So, like, how'd you get the idea for the very first book you ever wrote, the Navy SEAL 12 Weeks to Buds thing?
Well, I was actually doing it for a couple of years and created that workout plan, saw it be successful, and I was like, I think more people need to see this.
Yeah. And when you say you were doing it, what do you mean you were doing it?
Testing it out, actually doing it with hundreds of people, you know.
Right. Where
Yeah,
were you doing it?
at the Naval Academy. Yeah.
And at the time, you were still an active duty SEAL, right?
Yes.
So you got to take into consideration, you back to, the avatar, the target audience, and you, all that stuff. Ideas just don't come out of nowhere, is what I'm saying. Ideas come as a result of stimuli that you're getting from people that you're interacting with. They come from you, your ideas, your experiences, your stories, things that happen to you, all other kind of stuff. And then hopefully also thinking in terms of what the market is willing to pay for. Unfortunately, this is where most people blow it
Yeah.
because they fall in love with an idea and they think it's going to make them rich, and then they realize only they and their mom were serious about that. Would you like me to zoom in, Stu?
No, I can see it.
Oh, okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah. No,
Like,
you're eclipsing it.
sorry that my bulk was getting in your way there, Stu. So, but then you had an idea because of who you were, where you were, what you were doing, and the people you were interacting with, and you thought, okay, this is probably something people would be interested in. At that point, did you evaluate whether they were willing to pay for it?
No,
Did you evaluate what kind of back end offers you might make
no,
from that book?
did not.
Did you think about who and how you were going to sell it?
No, I mean,
Yeah,
I thought of like get a publisher.
right. You thought of
Yeah,
get a publisher.
yeah,
Okay. So back then, you had an idea and you got lucky with it.
mm, yeah.
Now, you like beagles too, but beagle grooming tips from a Navy SEAL probably wasn't going to be a big seller
Yes, that's
unless it was a
true.
picture book. So back then, you had an authorpreneurial seizure.
Hmm.
You were
Okay.
like, I got an idea for a book. And from my experience, about 1 in 10, 1 in 20 people can be successful with doing it this way.
Mm.
And you kind of get lucky. Okay, it's kind of like with my For Sale by Owner book. You know, I went through the same thing. I was, you know, I had a bunch of experience. I was actively doing it. I was working with folks and was like, you know, y'all are really screwing the pooch on this one. Let's, you know, let's lay it all out for you. And then I didn't get a publisher. And I think in a way that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because if I had gotten a publisher, I might never have learned the things I learned about selling the book myself. And isn't it funny that I just thought about that. I learned about selling your book yourself with a book about selling your home yourself. That's kind of meta if you think about it.
I like that too. And, you know, self-publishing back then was
harder
than finding a publisher.
Yep. So now though, if that was then, let me clear my, and this isn't a loaded thing either. This isn't, don't freeze up on me and be like, I don't know what the right answer is. And I did good on the other one. Okay. So now describe to me the process that you go through for figuring out a topic for, I mean, you've got like 40 or 50 books and ebooks now, right? If not more.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So what is your thought process now, especially since you did it yourself and then I bullied you into doing it certain ways at certain times?
Yeah.
What's Stu's process now?
Well, I just wrote one last week.
Okay.
And it was usually what happens is there's a change in my world.
Okay.
Right. So I am updating old books, sometimes rewriting them all together, coming up with a new one. Really, it kind of depends on the change. Is it a big change? I need a new book. If it's a minor change, I'll update an old book. But usually,
hang on.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. Okay, so big change equals new book, minor change equals update to existing book.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. That was a writer downer.
Okay. But those are really the big ones. Every now and then I'll get the idea because I do this stuff every day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I coach it in a certain way and I see the light bulb go off in the people I'm coaching, I usually say more people need to see that. And that's kind of my go-to phrase right before I realize I'm going to rewrite a book or make a, you know, do something else, other type of project. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. I'm coaching it. I see a better idea to do something. Sometimes it's an aha moment for me as a coach. I'm like, oh, I never thought of it this way. This is really good. I need to share this with people. And, you know, those are kind of like those breakthrough moments that occur. And once again, it's kind of like an inspirational thing. I don't have an answer for how it happens other than it just happens.
Right. But you know what's at the center of the whole thing?
What's that?
Not you. What's at the center of the whole thing is the audience. Because you are now filtering everything through the audience. So you're the change, you're asking yourself, hey, how is this change going to affect the audience? And so then you start doing something and you do it and then you coach it. You don't coach and see if they break and then, oh, I should do that now. It's like, no, I do that. Then I coach other people, the people that I can touch. And then if they have an aha moment, or if I have an aha moment, and if it's a big enough thing, then I formalize it and turn it into a book or a course.
Yes.
Now, The other thing that is implied here, because you've internalized it, is audience motivation. These would be the page 16 things, Stu.
Yeah.
So you know intrinsically, and I think it's there's more. When I say page 16, it's on page 16 we list
Yep.
the reasons why people buy. But you also intrinsically know, okay, this is going to help people for your folks. This is going to help me get big, fast, strong, lean. Okay, you got the physical side of what it's going to do.
Yep.
But then you also have the other payoff side of this is going to help me get my dream job. This
Yeah.
is going to help me keep my dream job.
Yeah.
This is going to keep me from being sore all the time or immobile. You see?
Yeah. Tougher.
And so it's the internal motivation and the external motivation that's going on here. I've been playing around a lot with that lately, internal versus external motivation.
Yeah, it's very important.
Been studying a lot about story and other stuff like that. But that's something most people hey, I'm gonna show you got big and strong and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's surface level. But the reason why you want to get big, strong, fast, lean, flexible is so that you can serve your country as an elite warrior, so that you can land your dream job as a police, firefighter, first, the FBI, whatever those things are. And then the last thing that you started doing, and not necessarily chronologically, but in our discussion, is you niched it down even further so that people felt like, hey, that's for me. That's me. He's talking to me. I want to be a SEAL. I want to work for the FBI. I want to be an ageless athlete. That kind of stuff. So it's the same: get big, get fast, get strong, stay lean, stay flexible. But the context for the book is what makes people want it and say, hey, that dude really knows who I am. I need to get it from him instead of just going to ChatGPT.
Yeah. You know what John Maxwell says about writing a book?
What does John Maxwell say about writing a book, Stu?
He's written over 90 books.
I hear that. Yes.
And,
I know people that probably own all 90.
Yeah. You can Google all the things he says about books, because he talks about books a lot. But this one caught me the other day, and I said, you don't write a book because you're ready. You write because someone needs what you've learned.
Yeah.
I've liked that.
100%.
Yeah.
One thing I would add, and I'm far be it from me to correct him, but I will make an addition. It's a collaboration with John Maxwell. Okay. Read me that quote again.
Oh, man.
Dude closed his browser window.
Where'd it go? I just had it. Come on, back us up, Jim. You remember what I said.
No, but I want to have the exact quote. I know the gist of it.
All right, let me. I gotta go to my history.
Okay.
I pulled it up off his LinkedIn. It's,
okay.
Okay. Here it is. Sorry. You don't write a book because you're ready. You write because someone needs what you've learned.
Right. The only thing I would add to that is you write because someone wants and needs what you've learned and is willing to pay for it. That's the key. Okay. Yeah. That I mean, I'm telling you, you're like, oh, really? Yeah. There's plenty of books that people wrote that people needed, but none of them wanted. A lot of them are weight loss books. Okay.
Yeah, true.
And they're willing to pay for it now. So that's something you really need to think about. And you have instinctively baked that in, because when you write about change, what does change mean? I have to do something different. And depending on what's going on, if it's linked to my job or my health or that stuff like that, I got to change when, now or later.
Mm.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got that urgency baked in, but the biggest thing is that you know the audience. You didn't just be like the dude who said, you know, hey, my wife went through menopause. Everyone's going to go through menopause. Let me write a menopause book. It's like, no, dude, not a good idea.
Yep. Not a good idea.
So just kind of to recap, the way most people do it, and that's like buying a scratch ticket, is you come up with an idea for a book that you think is going to be amazing, and you go and you write the book and you do the thing, and maybe you'll get lucky. The better way to do it is to know your audience better than they know themselves, and teach them stuff that you've already done, proven that works, proven that it works for other people, and then you formalize all the stuff that you learn into a book, and you tie it to their motivators, their prime motivators for why they're going to want it. And you niche it down far enough that the group is going to say, hey, that's for me. And if you do that, you got a high probability or high chance of being successful to some degree. And maybe you'll hit a grand slam home run in the bottom of the ninth of the 7th game of the World Series. Or maybe you'll just hit a single. But as long as you're getting on base, that's a good thing. So let's say hi to the folks who've joined us.
Yeah.
What's up, Paul? What's up, Dave? What's up, Vicky? Larry's here. Susan's here. Susan said having an aha moment and noticing a new way to explain something to your audience reminds me of my own experience where in the process of explaining what I'm doing, I notice a new story or metaphor I can use to explain things. Yeah, very good. And Susan gave us she gave you the quotes too.
Which one?
The one that you found.
Oh.
She went and found it faster. You don't write a book because you're ready. You write a book because someone needs to read what you've learned. And then Jim Edwards' addition to that. So
someone wants to buy what you've learned.
Yeah, someone's willing to pay.
Right.
Okay, so I thought it'd be fun to brainstorm some book ideas.
Okay.
Would you like to do that?
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to brainstorm some book ideas, and we're going to use the book idea topic title Brainstorm Genie version 1.0. This is available to elite members. We have version 2.0 that's only available inside of the Authority Book Blueprint, but this one is still pretty screaming cool. What does this do? Oh, it looks like we demoed this before, Stu. I think you were even wearing the same shirt. I'm just playing.
Probably so.
I rotate through like 6 shirts, man. Don't worry about it.
Whatever's in the top of the drawers.
Whatever's clean or whatever's cleanest on top of the basket, right?
Right.
So what this is going to do is you can pretty much tell it anything. You can tell it pretty much anything about yourself. You can tell it pretty much anything about your audience. You can tell it pretty much anything about another product, and it will help you to come up with ideas for books related to what you give it. So one of the things that we could do is we could just tell it about Stu, but we've done that in the past. But what if we go over to Amazon and we search for ageless, is that right? Yeah, ageless athlete. What? People are stealing your stuff.
What do you mean? Oh, I don't have Ageless Athlete. I don't have Ageless Athlete on Amazon.
Oh. Why not?
I just don't.
Why not?
Well, look at all the Aegis athletes on Amazon.
But you do have a book called that, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
right here. I just
Oh,
sell it
is
on
it
my
available?
Sell it on my website.
Oh, you mean this website, Stu? Boom. Y'all see how I popped that QR code up there? Dude, it was like I did that on purpose. Y'all can go to StuSmithFitness.com, or you can scan the QR code in the upper left of the screen and it'll take you over there. I thought that was pretty slick. So
I would say that is
okay.
very cool.
All right. So then we'll go to StuSmithFitness.com. And ageless athlete, fitness over 50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the description for this book. And I'm going to drop it into this. Now, remember we said that we want to niche this. So what would be a group other than fitness over 50? Is there a more of a niche group that we could take this?
You want to say
come up with some ideas?
Retired military?
Okay. Retired military, police, firefighter, first responders. How about that?
Sure.
I want to target retired military, police, firefighters, and first responders with a new book based on this information. And I want to make it, dude, I'm having a total brain fart. What's the word you, customized. I want to customize it for that specific audience. Duh. Customize it for that specific audience. Okay. So now what we've done is we've taken existing information. Again, we took your own book description. I personally don't have a problem with you taking somebody else's book description and saying, you know, because if you're like, hey, anybody that buys this book, they're going to want to buy my book. Just is what it is. You can dump anything in there. Your personal writing style, if you wonder what that is, we have all the different styles and stuff defined, a whole bunch of different other things. But what would you consider yourself? Academic, analytical, authoritative, conversational?
My writing style?
Yeah.
I would say instructional.
Instructional. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll choose instructional. We click build. And now what this is going to do is help us to come up with some really cool ideas. And this is something new that I've added, Stu. This down here, section number 3, book positioning and promise. Before it was just giving you topic ideas and whatnot.
Right.
But this one down here does some pretty cool stuff as far as giving big picture and some other neat. I think you'll like it. Okay. And then you would probably do a how-to. It's more of a how-to book, right? So we'll have it give us some title ideas. So what we're doing here is literally this thing's giving us some ideas. It's going to give us ideas for book ideas, topics. It's going to give us title ideas. But then this section down here is pretty special. I'm proud of this one. But I'm gonna, as soon as I get down and start showing it to you, this thing up here is gonna pop and then it's gonna shoot it down the page and I'm gonna get pissed and start scrolling and not find it. So we'll just talk for a second while it's doing what it needs to do. But basically what we're doing is we're taking the description of your book and having it give us ideas for other books. And if you don't have a book, go find a book that's like the one you would want to customize or the audience would react to. Nice. So look at this. Target reader, who? Ideal reader. The book's tailored for retired military personnel, police, firefighters, and first responders age 50 and above who are seeking to enhance their physical fitness, reclaim their active, energetic lifestyles. They're motivated by a desire to feel strong, agile, and vibrant while reconnecting with the athleticism that fueled their early years. This is not for people who are satisfied with a sedentary lifestyle or unwilling to make changes to their current fitness habits. Also not intended for anyone under 50. Core problem. Book addresses the decline in physical fitness and mobility that many first responders experience post-retirement. Many feel sidelined by age-related limitations. and find it challenging to stay in shape. So this is like really helping to break down the psychology
Oh,
of
absolutely.
what we're doing here. Currently, many in this demographic don't have accessible programs tailored to their unique needs, lack of direction, motivation, support. They're stuck in old habits or risky fitness approaches that don't serve their current capabilities. Core promise: by following the guidance of the ageless athlete, readers will transform their physical capabilities and mindset, rejuvenating their strength, endurance, and mobility to feel vibrant and energized, just like they did in their 20s.
Mm.
So anyway, again, I would just tell you, if you took somebody else's information or something, their book description, obviously you're not going to call it the same thing, and you're going to, this is for idea generation.
Yep.
But then positioning statement, one sentence: this book is about rekindling your strength, endurance, and mobility after 50, guiding retired first responders to live vibrant, active lives through tailored fitness strategies and community support. So, and then it'll
Nice.
give you some ideas for stuff. And obviously it took the name that we gave it because we threw that in there. So another thing that we can do, and this gives us some ageless strength, revive your mobility, fit beyond 50, fitness reimagined, the ageless athlete, vital moves, live fit, age well, endurance over age, shape your future, agile for, I like that, agile forever.
Mm.
And also these give you cool ideas for articles and things you could do.
Absolutely.
So this will give you ideas for books, book about seasoned mission-based training plans for lifelong operator, 12-week cycles for events, endurance, tactical challenges. Wow, they're gonna beat the crap out of them. So now let's say you didn't know what you wanted to write about, but you just said, I want to target retired, blah, 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 with a new book. And we could get rid of all this stuff. And you're like, I want to target retired military, police, firefighters, and first responders with a new book about maintaining strength and agility over the age of 50. And that's pretty generic. Okay.
Yes.
But that's what a lot of people would put in.
Sure.
So you'll get, the less you give it, the more generic you're going to get. But if you come down here and whack the build button, click these, you're going to get a result. What I would suggest is putting in, this is the audience I want to help, and this is who I am. If you don't know what kind of a book you want to write, you can at least tell it about the audience you think you want to serve or the audience you have served, and then you tell it about yourself. If you don't know who your audience is, then you can at least tell it about yourself. So, ageless strength, transform your body beyond 50 for enhanced vitality. So those, and then it gives you a bunch of, this is where the ideas come in. A book about preserving tactical fitness after service, functional strength and agility for life beyond the badge. Ooh, life beyond the badge. That's not bad.
Dang.
Or life beyond the uniform. Now, if you did life beyond the uniform, that could be everybody.
Yeah.
Even French maids. Mobility for but this is giving you, in my mind, this is giving some pretty cool ideas.
I agree.
For very little that you gave it. Agility after service.
I kind of like the generic version just because it's a little broader,
Right.
and yeah.
But now this is starting to help you to dial in who would your ideal reader be? What's the core problem that they're dealing with? What's going wrong? The cost of staying stuck. Core promise. Discover practical, actionable strategies to maintain and enhance their physical strength and agility, empowering them to enjoy an active and fulfilling retirement. So this is pretty, and I will tell you that this right here is a real, if you're like, damn, that sounds like the people that I want, you can grab this and throw this over into the Avatar Junior easy button and hit the easy button, and it pumps that puppy out quick.
Man, that's a hack.
Yeah. So last thing would be if you just want to tell it about yourself and you really you're like, look, I don't really have an idea, but let me tell you about me. So I could just tell it. I mean, this I am a former pizza delivery guy and janitor who spent 10 years in mortgage and real estate. I was a top producing mortgage loan officer and a top producing residential real estate agent. I was really, really good at helping first time buyers and veteran buyers find and finance their homes while avoiding all the ripoffs that are out there in the world trying to grab them. I understand mortgage financing options extremely well, but more importantly, can explain them in simple terms that people can readily understand so that they don't get ripped off.
Hmm.
I also have extensive experience helping sellers sell without an agent, as well as pricing homes, showing homes, staging homes, and negotiating. Okay, so, and what's my personal style? Let's say conversational. So now I have no idea what the hell it's going to give me. Okay, this is what I would call um, this is what I would call a cup of coffee session. But I would literally, I mean, you saw what I just did. Let's see what it comes back with. See if it'll give me an idea. Now, do I know if it's marketable? Don't know, but there are ways you can go check. The easiest way to check to see if your book is marketable is to see if anybody else is already
Yeah.
selling a book on that topic. If you can't find any books, or if you can't find a category that that book would make sense to fit in on Amazon, you're probably barking up the wrong tree, because I don't think there's any such thing now as an undiscovered niche. I just
Hmm.
really don't think there is. Um, but anyway,
Of course, you know, in the 1800s, the head of the trademark and patent office said, there ain't no more patents. Nobody's going to invent anything else.
yeah, no, everything that's ever been invented
Everything's
has been
been
invented.
invented.
Yeah, yeah, that's not what I'm saying. But topics and people, circumstances change, but people don't, and that's why here we're coming at it from the standpoint of who you are. But where you're really successful is when you're focused in on who you're going to serve.
Yeah.
And so the better result comes from telling it about your audience, telling it about yourself, and then it'll give you better results. But let's see how it does. So, target reader, first time home buyers, veterans looking to finance their homes, homeowners interested in understanding mortgage options, selling without an agent, navigating real estate market. So this is already going to be too broad. That's just too broad. Um, Home buyers and sellers feel overwhelmed and confused by the complexity of mortgage financing, real estate market, leaving them vulnerable to scams and bad deals. Home buyers often encounter misinformation, cost of staying stuck. Readers gain clear understanding mortgage options, effective home selling. See that. So what I would need to do, I can just tell you right now, is go up and either talk about mortgages or talk about selling your home, not the two of them together. So that's, again, guiding you through the process. So that's what I would do. Um, and the funny thing is that, I mean, those were my first two products I ever came out with, were for sale by owner, the selling your home alone, and then the 10 dirty little secrets of mortgage financing. Those were my two first products I ever did.
Nice.
Um, so anyway, that would be the thing to do on that. But ultimately, and notice it didn't really, I don't think it said anything about the pizza guy.
Right.
Um, that's more of a marketing angle. But again, you just throw up into, excuse me, you just give a stream of consciousness into it, and then you can start dialing it in. Um, so, oh, anyway, that's how you can use this tool to help you kind of dial in. You can tell it about a product that, hey, anybody that gets this, I want to book, I want to do something on that. Okay, give me some ideas. But it helps if you tell it about your target audience. Other way is to tell it about yourself, or to tell it about your audience, or to tell it about yourself and your audience, and it'll help you dial it in. Vicky said, I used this morning. The niche down results are amazing. I asked about a book series and it delivered. Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea.
Nice. Good
Yeah, that's a
idea.
very good idea. So anyway, that's what I got. What
You know what
thoughts
I
do
got?
you
You
have,
know what I
Steve?
got, Jim?
What?
I love the creation of ideas because I have found that I write 3 or 4 articles a week, try to write, a couple of books a year, and I need ideas. And I love this for that. But I have been playing around with the internets and
Oh, on the line, yes.
on online, yes. And I found a company, and this is completely free. At least I don't think I'm paying for it. Um, it's called Zapier. In fact, I just sent you an email that it sent me today. I've been doing it now for about 2 weeks.
Zapier.
Zapier, yes. What I
Okay.
say? Zapier? Zapier?
Zapier.
Yeah. um, anyway, I get a daily email
Uh-huh.
that is focused on tactical fitness, functional fitness.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I gave it a whole lot of things that I wanted to write about,
Uh-huh.
and just gave me it. And I asked for a topic, a quote, and a scientific study that is related to that topic.
Yeah.
And I these are the kind of emails I get. I like today. The topic was the power of functional training for tactical fitness. Kind of generic, but
Yeah.
the quote is from a known real sports nutrition guy. That says strength training is not just lifting weights; it's about preparing your body for the demands of life. And then that study goes into a strength and conditioning research study that highlights the effectiveness of functional training on performance outcomes, physically demanding professions, emphasizing its role in injury prevention and enhancing overall fitness. So they're fairly generic ideas, but I get one every day. And so far,
How did you set that up though? How did you what
I,
did you just you don't
I,
even remember?
I went to Zapier.com
Okay.
and well, first of all, I did this. I went into the Google search and
Uh-huh.
said, how can I get daily emails sent to me that will give me ideas to write about?
Okay.
That's all it did. And then it gave me like the AI mode says, go here, do this, do this, do this. And I was like, okay, that's pretty
Okay.
cool. And so now I do this. So I was thinking, you might be able to add another I don't want to put too much on your plate, but these ideas, you can have it regenerate every day and send it to people. On not on all of your things obviously, but maybe a few choice ones that you could get regenerated ideas for these type of things. I mean, it's right up your alley, I think.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. We've actually tried stuff like that in the past, but then people lose interest after a week, and then they then all they care about is how they stop getting the notification.
Yeah.
So if you do you if I pulled up the page, would you remember what you did when you got to the page to make it do it?
um Not really.
Okay.
But I mean, I probably would if I saw it. I walk you through it later. if
Okay.
you'd
Well,
like.
why don't we do this? We'll take a look at it together off camera, figure out if it's something that we could show people how to do,
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there, because that might be something cool that we could show people how to do. Absolutely. I love stuff like that. I mean, it's just it's a question of whether or not people would use it. And
Well,
if you're
I got to thinking, I like, you know what? I'm kind of using AI right now
mhm,
with one dimension, right?
okay.
I'm using it like with a genie and it helps me do this. I'm using it, with Google and it helps me do this. Make a picture, it helps me do this. Whereas like what's the next dimension? The next
Mhm.
dimension would be, kind of like an agent that sends me ideas, sends me things. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to evolve with the AI progression that is happening right before our eyes.
So always thinking about what you're popping back into here. Um, there's ideation, okay, which is basically a fancy word for there's coming up for the idea for the thing.
Yeah.
And then there's creation, which is how do I turn it into uh, text? How do I turn it into a video? How do I turn it into audio?
Hmm.
Okay, whatever that is. And then there's distribution, which is how do I get it out to these different places so that people can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's monetization, which is just how do I turn this into money. And so what you're trying to do, and I like it, is you're automating the ideation process in this. So then how can I come up with an idea, and then because you've been using AI to create the stuff if you have the idea,
Mm-hmm.
but how could I ideate, create, and distribute meaningfully, not just spamming the
Right.
world? How could I do that in a faster time frame, create more value, and just do it faster and create more value for people more efficiently?
Yeah.
That's what I hear you asking when I think about it in a process type thing. And so anything to come up with ideas faster, anything to create it faster, anything to distribute it faster. And I
Yeah.
think that's where we're getting, that's looking at how can AI help me come up with an idea faster? How can AI help me create a meaningful, good idea, or good content that's actually based on my ideas rather than just amorphous shit from the internet, slop,
Yeah.
AI slop.
Right.
And then how can I distribute it in a way that's going to be meaningful and it's not just spamming the world?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Um, Sweet. Okay.
Yeah. Some people recognize the Zapier,
Yeah.
Zapier.
Yeah.
Um,
I've used Zapier
yeah.
um, a lot at one time.
Hmm.
Uh, anyway, cool.
Yep.
Uh, to like the AI generate image sample prompt. Okay. Give me a random creative prompt. So Stu just got real straight with it. I mean, we can show people how to do it. Um, yeah, we'll mess around with it.
Yeah.
So, couple things I want to let y'all know about. Um, if you have ever said to yourself, "Hey, I wish Jim would sit down with me for 3 straight days and help me plan out my book. I wish Jim would help me come up and figure out who my best book buyer was, or help me outline my book, or help me to come up with basically laying the foundation for how you're going to get that book done, what you're going to write about, who you're going to target, creating your Amazon copy, creating your value ladder, seeing how this thing's going to work in your business, all the things so that you are ready no matter how you decide you're going to write the book, whether you're going to use our tools, whether you're going to wrestle with ChatGPT, whether you're going to write it out by hand. You have everything ready to go so that you can instantly start creating the book content If you've ever thought, I wish Jim would help me do that, well, your wish is coming true. And we're going to be doing a 3-day plan your book workshop at planyourbookworkshop.com/special. Now, those of you, I'm putting the QR code up there. I think Susan will throw the link into the chat. But the bottom
Cool.
line with this is that you and I and a small group of our friends are going to get together for 3 afternoons, and we are going to bust everything out for your book so that however you decide to make it, you literally, all you got to do is then just make it. Everything is ready to go. You got your blueprint, you got your outline, you've got your marketing copy, everything's done. Your buyer, your offer around your book, everything's ready to go. I'm giving you a 50% off coupon. Everybody's like, what's the discount? Okay, I'm going to give you over half off. Coupons on the page. Now, assuming that you're seeing this not in 2027. So go check it out. Would love to have you join us. Not going to be a very big group. We're going to do it on Zoom, and it's going to be see, do. You're going to watch me do it. You're going to do it. And then you'll be able to get feedback on what you've done right there. So it's not going to be a, hey, you're going to get droned at like Charlie Brown's teacher for hours and hours, and then you got to go find the time to do it. You're going to leave each day with the stuff done. So if that sounds appealing to you, go check it out, claim the over 50% discount, and we'd love to have you. And Stu,
Yes.
if they want to get in shape, watch this. Boom, different QR code, and they can go to
StuSmithFitness.com. It'll take you right there, people. That's how those QR codes work.
There you go. Hey, so those of you who are in Copy and Content Elite, in about 10 minutes, Stu and I are going to be jumping on the genie hacking session, and we are going to show you how to outline your book in 20 minutes or less. It's going to be a lot of fun, answer questions, do all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're an Elite member, make sure you check your email to get the link for the Zoom, and we'll see you over there. So everybody have a great day, and we'll see you soon.